Hi, good morning everyone. I just wanted to take a moment and show you what I'm going to be eating for breakfast this morning. I have some leftover ground beef from last night. We did smash burgers last night, and today for breakfast I'm going to do, I call it a breakfast power bowl. So it's just going to be, if I had bacon I would use that too, but I just have the leftover ground beef and I'll do a couple eggs and fry up the ground beef and then put in the eggs and have the power bowl. I'll probably put some Frank's Red Hot on top of the breakfast power bowl. And that's really it this morning. I've already had my coffee, which I have a cappuccino with a little bit of whipping cream. And I did my iodine drops and my K2 B3 drops as well. So once I have my pan heating up over there. Once my pan heats up, then I'll get the ground beef in. What we're gonna do first is weigh how much ground beef I have left. I'm not too sure what's left, so let's weigh that out. Okay, so here's the leftover ground beef. I just threw it on the scale here, and it's about 8 ounces. So I'll cook that up, the 8 ounces of ground beef, and then I have my eggs here. I'll probably do 3 eggs this morning, and we'll get this in the pan. So I have my pan slowly warming up. I always warm up cast iron at like a 3, just to get it warmed nice and slow. And there's about a teaspoon of bacon fat in there. I'll also show you while we're waiting for the pan to heat up. I just took out some pork ribs for tonight, so I'll slow cook the pork ribs in the oven for a couple hours and then I'll finish them off on the barbecue. I am gonna make a sugar-free barbecue sauce, so I'll show you that once I put them in the oven. I typically slow cook them at like 220 for about 2 hours, and I put the skin side up, so it'll be this side up, seasoned with extra salt, and then I layer lemons on top of it to tenderize the pork ribs, because pork ribs are notoriously pretty tough. So you want to slow cook them and then just finish them off on the barbecue when you're ready to eat. So that will make a nice dinner. I think the weather's going to be nice out today, so it'll be nice to barbecue. So I've cracked 4 eggs into my measuring cup. I did want to say, for anyone that's here in Canada, I know the Americans are complaining a lot about eggs prices, but the local farmer that I always get my eggs from, his egg prices just went up. They were already expensive at $7 for a carton, and now they're up to $8.50 a carton. So eggs are no longer a cheap, affordable protein, but it's really good. So I'll continue to buy eggs. I would like to find another source that isn't $8.50 for 1 carton, because between my husband, my dogs, and myself, we can easily go through a carton of eggs in a day. So if anyone knows of better sources for eggs, comment and let me know. Hopefully egg prices go down in the near future. So I'm going to take the ground beef over to the frying pan and we'll drop that in. Hopefully it's warm enough now. Yep, So I'm going to get this nice and crispy to add extra flavor to the ground beef. I really like when it gets really browned, not just boiled looking. So we'll let that go for a little bit, and I'll show you everything when it all comes together. Hopefully, my hope is that this is, you know, a little bit of an inspiration. I know I get baffled in regards to what to eat every day. So I'm hoping that this at least is a reminder that you absolutely can make ground beef for breakfast. Obviously, it's nice and filling. I'll be satisfied until the pork ribs for dinner tonight. So the ground beef is done. I'm gonna pour the eggs on now and just cook the eggs in with the ground beef, and that's my breakfast power bowl. I'll show you when I'm all done here. As I drop my flipper. I was just thinking as I'm still cooking up this breakfast ground beef egg power bowl that this is also a nice meal for people that don't eat ketovore or carnivore. My husband certainly does not eat carnivore or ketovore. He loves his carbs. And you know, we're all able to make our own choices, right? So I'm always looking for meals that he's gonna enjoy. I actually made this for him for the first time on the weekend, and he didn't seem that excited or impressed by the breakfast power bowl, but he ate it and he really, really enjoyed it. Of course, he had bread or a bagel, I think, on the side, but that's always a nice tip. He also added a bunch of shredded cheese and salsa on top, so that's a good option. I'm trying to limit my dairy right now, but of course internally, because I love my dairy, I would love some cheese on top of this, but not right now. Maybe next time I make it, you'll see me put cheese on top. Who knows? So I'm just gonna take it out of the pan and I'll show you it when it's all ready to go. So there's the breakfast power bowl all ready to eat, and I'm gonna dish this out. And I will see you this afternoon when I put the pork ribs in the oven, and you can see how I prep those to pre-bake for 2 hours in the oven, and then we'll barbecue the pork ribs. Okay, so we're on to prepping the pork ribs for tonight. So they're gonna take about 3 hours in the oven at 275, and I'm just gonna season them with some salt and some paprika. So I'm gonna use Malden's coarsely flaked sea salt and paprika, and they're gonna go, I have a full rack of ribs, and you can see here, I've just cut them in half, so I'm gonna season them front and back, and then cover them with aluminum foil, bake them for 2 hours at 275, and then I'll finish them off on the grill. So you'll see them once they come off the grill. Okay, so I decided to add a few slices of lemons as well. The past recipes I've done have always called for lemons to tenderize the meat. So I'll cover them with foil and just some paprika and flaky sea salt. So here are those delicious barbecue ribs that I made. I have a fermented pickle with barbecued ribs. I made a homemade sugar-free barbecue sauce. I only used about 2 tablespoons for the whole rack of ribs, and this is 4 ribs here. So it should be really good. Make sure you like and subscribe to follow me on my journey. Maybe make some comments about some recipe ideas and other information. I track all of my food on Carb Manager, so I'd be happy to go through that with the fat to protein ratios that I aim for on a daily basis. Anyways, enjoy your evening. Thanks, everyone.